Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining the Redington virtual sessions. Today's topic we have from Splunk, the Rapid Adoption Program, and we have Tushar Rao, Product Manager, who will be running you through the session. Thank you again for joining. And in case you have any questions during the session, I would request you to please add them in the Q&A tab, and we will answer them at the end of the session. Tushar, over to you.
All right. Thank you, Vindhya, for the introduction and for organizing this session today. And a big warm welcome to all the Splunk partners and non-Splunk partners to this session. This is just to give you an overview of what Splunk is doing to address the needs of organizations in the current situation. And I'll just take you through the program, and I hope towards the end of the session, you'll have new avenues of taking Splunk towards your customers and help them adopt the platform capabilities in the quickest way. So this is nothing new in terms of what Splunk has been doing, but it is just a new way of leveraging quickly and cost effectively the platform and the benefits of what Splunk has to offer. Now, one of the challenges most of the prospective customers face is whether Splunk can address their immediate requirements and also to be able to do that within their budget. Now, a lot of people feel that Splunk is a holistic platform and it also is expensive. But the whole idea of this rapid adoption program is to be able to bring Splunk to each and every organization and use the platform to its fullest, irrespective of the size and irrespective of the vertical the customer belongs to. With Splunk, the idea is to bring data to everything, right? And bring action, decision, and outcomes of the analysis that we do on our data with the platform capabilities. Now, my purpose today is to debunk that Splunk is too expensive. Now we'll see towards the end of the program how we are going to bring this packaged offering from Splunk and address some of the immediate pain areas that Splunk has. Here's a brief agenda of what we're going to discuss today in our session. We'll give you an overview of the rapid adoption packages. What sort of packages have Splunk bundled in from IT security and IT operations perspective, and what will the customers be getting as part of these packages? Who is the right target for this program? And I'm sure a lot of you must also have questions around, is it for new Splunk customer or is it also for existing Splunk customers? And what really value this program brings to the customers and to the partners like you. So organizations today, they know the value of data and they have been somehow managing data to bring it to analyze the data in a better view. And most of the organizations think that they can just structure any kind of data and try and get insights out of this the machine data that each and every system in their organization is generating, whether it is your applications, it's your servers, storages. We are also talking about IoT and industrial data. Now, even with massive budgets, the customer sets aside sometimes. Despite that, there is a whole lot of processes and techniques that is required to analyze the large volumes of data. Now, customers are managing this somehow by building silos of data and trying to understand each and every division of their organization independently. And to do that, they've also invested in a lot of point data management solutions. And managing this data with extracting the relevant information out of this data requires, again, as mentioned, a whole lot of process and techniques. And at the end of the day, there is an underlying factor where the customer's data is changing on a daily basis. Now, we can never have a very structured approach in terms of data analytics. So in Splunk, what we allow you to do is we let you ingest all kinds of data that the customer has, whether it is structured, unstructured, and bring all of those capabilities of analysis and acting on your data into an easy way. Now, Splunk is the first company who has launched this data to everything platform. Okay. Now, the whole idea of this platform is to bring the data, ask the right questions, questions from what is happening within my IT infrastructure, answer questions from my security to understand what my security posture is currently today and what sort of threats am I facing in my organization today. And not only your traditional IT operations and security, we extend the platform's capability even into IoT and business analytics, right? So whether your data is in any form, whether it is structured, unstructured, and whether the data is coming once in a day or it is coming every millisecond, we are able to ingest any kind of data irrespective of the structure into Splunk. Now, a lot of customers also have legacy systems where they are unable to process or take in that kind of data and combine it with the new age systems that the customer has invested. So, despite any source the customer has, we are able to bring in data into Splunk and act on top of it. Now, data can be coming, as I mentioned, every millisecond, or it can come every hour. So all of those data that is coming into Splunk, we are able to analyze that within the time scale at any given point in time, and also get a historical perspective of what has happened. And also, based on certain predictive models, we are also able to predict a turn in the events or understand the behavior patterns of activities that are happening in your organization. Now, this gives us the capability to investigate what is happening, monitor the ongoing activities on a regular basis, get insights, and also take actions and automate certain actions that depend on human intervention. Now, with the new Splunk Rapid Adoption package, the whole idea is to bring certain necessary use cases from IT and security, which is in a bundle format so that the customer gets up and running in no time. And the customer gets to deep dive into each of these areas of their infrastructure and security. And if you see, there are use cases within this IT and security that have been mapped to certain packages. Now we have a total of 9 use cases which are pre-bundled by Splunk so that the customers can see the value starting from day one. Now, these use cases or these programs or these packages can be leveraged on the Splunk Enterprise platform, which is more on premises, or these can be leveraged on the Splunk cloud. The only requirement is that a minimum of 3 use cases or 3 packages has to be bought as part of this offering. Now, customer has the flexibility to choose a couple of use cases from IT and couple of use cases from security. So, depending on what is the immediate pain areas, customer is flexible to choose one of these packages. Now, let's go a little bit deep into the IT operations packages that are available. So if you see, we have 5 specific use case package, and you can see that there are certain capabilities that are monitored or that are being assigned to each of these packages. The storage monitoring, network monitoring, server monitoring, application, and web monitoring. Now, we will not go into in depth of each of these packages, but it's just for your information as to what use cases are being mapped to each of these packages. And we will look into some of them just to give you an idea as to what these packages have to offer. Now on your screen, what you can see is the home page of your storage monitoring. Now, any storage admin has invested in different storage vendors, and each of those investments come with their independent monitoring solution. So, storage admin really lacks a holistic view across all the different vendors that they have. Some of the use cases here is, if you can see on your screen, they can monitor the disk utilization of each of these hosts and understand if there are any anomalous activities happening on each of those disks. Another area is where you can see the log volume trending. Now this also helps the storage admin understand the activities happening on each of those storage hosts and understand if this is abnormal or not. There might be certain fraudulent activities, or there might be a brute force attack happening. There might be an attack happening on your applications. And looking at some of the log volumes also kind of gives an indication of the actual utilization versus the abnormal ones. Now, this also helps in not only just monitoring, but it'll also help the storage admin troubleshoot uh, common issues that are related to storage. They are able to analyze the performance of this entire storage clusters, and also this also helps them in capacity planning, where they will have to invest into additional storage, and Splunk, with the help of its predictive analytics, can also establish a certain timeline where these additional procurements need to happen. Similarly, into security, some of the common use cases that the customers need today are also bundled into specific packages. And within security, we have 4 different packages to choose from. The first one is the basic security monitoring, where we have brute force detection, malware outbreak, scanning of the uncleaned malware detections, multiple infections on host, some of the recurring infections on host, and also user login with local credentials. We also have certain use cases from compliance and uh, insider threat and advanced threat detection. Now, these are basic security use cases that the customer can choose to get up and running in today's time. Now, the brute force attack detection also does a continuous check on each of the endpoints and understands successful or failed logins over time. So you'll be able to determine if somebody is trying to guess passwords for a particular user and understand if it is a genuine or an anomalous activity happening on those particular hosts. The basic malware outbreak view also gets updates from all the malware systems across your organization, and understand the patterns, whether how the malware once infected is also spreading laterally within your organization, and gives the security analyst enough time to contain the outbreak and isolate systems that are getting affected over a period of time. It also helps understand the pattern or the behavior of the malware, and also understand where these malwares initiated to plug in those security holes, just to protect the organization. Now, you're not only getting to monitor, but you're also able to create alerts whenever there is a new malware being detected and following a similar pattern. Now, this helps IT organizations respond much faster and take the necessary actions. And it also lets you remediate, which means that through Splunk, you can also instruct your malware solution to isolate the host and run a quarantine accordingly. So a remediation is also one of the key features of Splunk security. Another view from the Splunk basic security monitoring is on scanning the endpoint uncleaned malware, where it gives a sense of how many infected hosts are still connected to the network and how many systems have not been restarted once a malware has been cleared. It also lets the system analyst and take actions from within the dashboard to run a quarantine action using the malware solution. So the whole idea is to not just overview but go in depth. Now another view here is multiple infections on a host, so which clearly shows that the host is probably connecting to certain sites which are not uh, healthy. So it kind of gives a sense of the activities that are happening on the host and also understand the behavior of these users and take actions accordingly. So what happens once Splunk, once a customer buys any of these packages? Now these packages, nothing but it's all a bundle solution. But the customer also gets a full-blown, Splunk Enterprise platform. So there is no change in the platform whatsoever. It's only in the use cases that are currently bundled. Along with this, customer also can get access to the free app which Splunk has developed in this recent times on remote working insights. Now this lets the customer monitor all the VPN activities since most of us are working remotely and trying to connect and access critical applications in the organization. So any successful failed logins happening by the user and understand why the failure is coming. It also lets you monitor VPN connections originating outside the territory where your employees are located, just so that you know that some of the user credentials are not compromised and are being trying to access outside the geographical area where the organization operates. We also with the free Splunk remote work insight, we are also able to monitor all the communication and collaboration platforms like Microsoft Teams and Exchange and understand the performances of these applications over time. And any anomalous activities happening around these can be alerted and reported by Splunk. So what is the impact of customers adopting the Splunk Rapid Adoption program? You have seen that most of the use cases are pre-bundled. Most of the dashboards and alerts and reports are also pre-configured. So that lets Splunk, that lets customers either investigate all the incidences up to 90% faster and also reduce the impact on the business because of downtimes induced due to performances on storage, your servers and applications. You're able to identify incidents much before than they start impacting the business. You're able to lower the risk of data breach and theft, and using the Splunk security monitoring package, you're also able to alert on malwares and anomalous activities on the end users. And because of the bundle, we are also saving a lot of time and time to market, in the sense the customers know what they're getting. It's only a matter of them choosing what is their immediate pain point and choosing the Splunk package accordingly. So any new customer who wishes to start their journey with Splunk and he wants to try Splunk in a very cost-effective manner can you go for this initial offering from Splunk as a matter of trial and address the immediate needs. And tomorrow, once he sees the value within Splunk, he can expand using the platform and add on more use cases as he goes down. Now, the only limitation to this rapid adoption packages that are being designed is that the data size is limited to 25 GB per day. So anything above that, the customer will have to procure additional licenses and start using Splunk on a across the organization level. Now, with that, the customer not only gets the benefit of the package, but they also get access to 2000 plus free apps on the Splunk base. The Splunk base is just like your App Store or Play Store on Google, where you go and download apps for specific uses. Similarly, Splunk has designed, and along with collaboration with multiple vendors, they have designed free applications which can be downloaded on top of the Splunk enterprise platform and start making use of those use cases for free of cost. If you see some of the common free apps available here, you can see Cisco, Palo Alto, Symantec. All of these free apps are available for the customer once they choose the Splunk Rapid Adoption Package. Along with this, they also get access to the Splunk Answers community, where customers can post questions about the current use cases and additional use cases and start playing around with the Splunk platform to develop their own use cases. So as long as they are within their daily log or daily consumption limit. So what we are giving to the customers is only a different licensing model, but it's the same industry leading platform that brings data to everything, that brings data to every decision that customers make, that brings data to every action customers take, and also brings data to all the outcomes the organization want to see with the capabilities of Splunk. So that was a quick introduction into the Splunk Rapid Adoption Program. I suggest you visit splunk.com to learn more about the different use cases and the different customer use cases that are available across different industries. Here also, I suggest that you visit the Splunk base just to see the host of free apps that are available. You may have a customer who needs a specific visibility on, for example, a Fortinet customer whose Fortinet dashboard is not sufficient and does not let them do customized reporting. So they can go use the Fortinet free app available on Splunk Base and start playing around with that dashboard and custom build dashboards and reports for their immediate need. And for all the questions that customers have on using the platforms or on building new use cases, Splunk has a community called answers.splunk.com where they can post questions related to their issues, and either one of the Splunk users or one of the Splunk partners or one of the Splunk customers will respond that and help the customer get the most out of it. And in case you have not registered so far, the Splunk is hosting a two-part webcast of their Global Partner Summit on the 22nd of April. And I suggest you visit splunk.com and register for the Global Partner Summit and see what is in store for the upcoming year and what changes are going to come on the Splunk platform itself. So that's about it for today's session. And if you guys have any questions, please do feel free to post it in the queries. I see there are few questions. No. Anybody has any questions? Please feel free to post it here. Thank you guys for taking time, and I hope everybody is safe, and I hope your family is keeping well. And do get back to me for any questions, and we will take it further from there. Have a nice day.